wait, no, this is supposed to, yeah, no, that's right. Now I'm going live on Instagram. I'm a little bit slow with this morning. Hi, everybody. Good morning. How you doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Okay. I'm just going here. When you jump in, say hi. Where you coming from? How you doing? What do you got planned for the weekend? What do you got planned? What are your plans? Good morning. I'm just doing the Instagram. Okay. Sorry, there you go. Update details, and we're gonna go live. There we go. And live. Okay, we're live in all the places. Good morning. How you doing? You guys, last night was so incredible. So last night, I held the God's Girl guest call for the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. Good morning. Good morning, Alita. Good morning, Amy. Thank you so much for being on the call last night. The God's Girl guest call last night was a whole, I feel like something opened last night. Good morning, baby doll. Something really, hi, gorgeous. How you doing? Everybody needs to get into Baby Doll's Limitless Ladies if you're in Texas. I mean, just get in the room. I would be at every single thing that she did if I was there. Okay, just saying. Just saying. Good morning. I'm sorry about the light on Facebook. So is it really terrible light on Facebook, or is it just from my side? So crazy. It's just an older device. Okay. TikTok and Instagram look good, but Facebook is just so washed out. Yeah, last night was so incredible. So just to update you, so God's Girl guest call is a call that I do the last Thursday of the month inside of the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry. And what it does is it gives people an opportunity, gives women an opportunity to see what we do in there. Because, of course, it's a membership, and so often, off the chain. I know it was so off the chain. It's a membership group. It's $29 a month, which is really inexpensive. But I put a lot of time into that group because we do studies, and I'm actually in there coaching women on things like speaking. Okay, so it's not just a Bible ministry. Do you know what I mean? Like, good morning. It's incredible because it is a Bible ministry, but what I want the women here, what am I trying to say? I want the women in the group to feel confident enough to step forward in their own ministry and use their voices. And I know that this is a challenge for women. I mean, I've been working with women for over a decade, and the biggest thing that I've done in my coaching spaces over the last decade was support women in using their voices. This is one of the things that I do. When you jump on, please say hello in the comments. I love you. Thank you for the gifts. Oh, add you as a moderator. Yes, absolutely. Add as a moderator. Yes, thank you. There you go. Okay, I have to do my moderators on add as moderator. There you go, Sarah. Who else is over there? Good morning, everybody. I love you guys. I know, Angelique, you signed up for the ministry last night. I am so excited. It's so amazing. I'm so excited for that. That just makes my heart so happy. So anyway, the last Thursday of every month, I do what's called God's Girl guest call, and I open up the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry, and women come in and they just see what we're doing in there. So it's just a regular call. But last night we just happened to be doing something really powerful, which was I'm teaching the women how to do their testimonies. And I do it using a framework. Thank you for the hearts and all the love, everybody. And please make sure to share this live over to your community. Hit share it to your community. Let women know what we're doing. Tag people in the comments, all the things. So I'm teaching the women how to use their voice and share their testimony using a framework called your 3-Minute Story Masterclass, which is a framework that I've been teaching women for years. And because I know that the reason why so many people don't share their testimony is because they don't know how. I thought, you know what? Why don't I just use the 3-minute story masterclass framework, which is so powerful, which is one of the most powerful programs I've ever built. It's opened women up in my space to build businesses, to be professional public speakers. I mean, it's really one of the most powerful signature programs in the Uncommon Woman space. And so I've decided, because these women are saying yes to ministry, and I just, like, God has just been moving in my life in such a crazy way. And the message was, take that framework and teach it to these women, because my job is to support more women so that they can turn around and go do ministry. Like, I understand that that's been the calling on my heart. Good morning, Helen. Hi, Amy. I know last night was so good. And actually, the live that we're doing today about grief, okay, we're talking about the woman whose son died. She was a widow, and then her son died. And that was the theme for today. And I was like, come on. Because if you were in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry last night, you know how so many women in that group have experienced the death of a loved one. Like, there was a theme that was running through that call last night. And I just sat back going, this is God working in the room. Because all of you who were there needed to be there. All of you who were there who have lost a loved one, or who are struggling with challenges in your life, like, there's been some level of death. Because of course, remember, death isn't just about the death of a human. Sometimes it's about the death of a dream. Sometimes it's about the death of something that we thought was ours and it's not ours. And so we've had to let that dream go. The dream dies and reality steps in, and we have to grieve it. But also, we don't stay stuck in our grief. So then I open up my Bible today and I'm like, oh my gosh, the next woman that we're studying in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry is this woman whose husband died and then her son died. And I'm like, the women who were on the call last night need this, because this is what's going on. But also, all of us who have experienced, you guys, I have experienced death on so many levels over the last few years. My mom died in 2024. The way that I was, there's like me before my mom died, and then there was me after my mom died. Do you guys understand? Put a heart in the comments if you understand what I mean. There's the version of you that was one way, like, for example, somebody like Baby Doll. There was Baby Doll before recovery, and then the death of that Baby Doll. And now there's Baby Doll, the woman who's in ministry. Baby Doll, the one who's opening homes for women in recovery. Baby, like, there's who we were, and then there's who we are now. And there's a death there. And it doesn't, you guys, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, we still grieve. We grieve the old version of us. Even if the old version of us isn't the healthiest version of us. Because what happens is we have to actually completely rewire who we are. And that's a process. It's not easy. And that's why we're on these calls every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, because we need support in the grief. We need support as we shift. We need support as we change. We need support as the old version of us dies and the new one is born. So you could be grieving today, and it could be that you're grieving the loss of a friend who's no longer connected. It could be that you're grieving the loss of a job that just didn't feel healthy. It could be that you're grieving the loss of the old version of you who used to drink a bottle of wine every night. It could be that you're grieving the loss of your cigarettes. It could be that you're grieving the loss of something. And it doesn't mean that what's ahead of you is bad, but grief is real. It's a stretch. And I can talk about grief now like I couldn't before, even though I had other things in my life fall away. But then when my mom died, I was like, now I get it. That was the death of a version of me, because she was my best friend, right? I was the daughter of my mother, and I still am, but we had this like really special relationship. And when she died, there was a part of me that died. But what I recognize is that I didn't die. An identity died. And I don't want you to ever get those two things mixed up. You did not die. Stop saying, when my husband died, I died. When my child died, I died. When my dog died, I died. No, you didn't. if you're 10 toes down right here, right now, or if you're sitting on a chair and you can barely get up out of it, I want you to remember that you did not die. An identity, a version of you died, but you did not. Stop saying you died. It is not healthy. It is not good. It is not true. It is not right. And actually, what does God feel about that? He's like, wait a minute. Did I not save you so that you could continue to mother your children? And now you're telling me that you're dead? No, you're not a corpse walking. You are the mother of these children. You are the daughter of this husband who now needs you. Like when my mother died, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to step in and take care of my father. I'm not dead. He's not dead. And my dad and I have built this really beautiful relationship. But you know what? Thank goodness that I didn't claim my own death when my mom died, because the world needs me. The world needs you. The world needs what you have to offer. You did not die. So we're going to grieve the thing that we had to set down. We're going to grieve the dream. We're going to grieve that version of us. But then guess what, sissy? We're going to get back up and we're going to say, hallelujah, I'm still here. Because if that person had an opportunity to tell you, they would say, don't you dare die because I am gone. Because they would give anything to be here with you. Right? So I'm telling you this because I hear too many people say, when such and such ended, my life was over. No, it wasn't. So are you grieving? This is the right place to be. Because I'm grieving. I'm still on my grief journey. You guys, yesterday I had such a beautiful call on Uncommon Woman Global Ministry in the God's Girl guest call. Okay? After that call, I cried. You know why? Oh. Because my mama would be so proud. She would be so happy to see what's happened with my life. And I just cried. I was grieving. I wanted to phone her and say, you wouldn't believe how good it was. She was the first person I used to call. I'm still here. And she wants me here. Ooh, I'm weepy today. It must be the Daniel fast. And the grief. We can grieve and still live. Okay? Put that in the comments. I am alive. I am here. I am here. I put up a little story the other day, and I was like, repeat after me. I am here. I am here. I am here. Sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that we haven't died. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that there's still life to be lived. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we actually are thriving after the death. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, what is that Maria person? Delete, block. Because that's gross. Why do people do yucky things? Do you know what I mean? It's okay for us to thrive after the death. And I know that a lot of people feel guilty about that. But see, that's God working. God is working. Don't you see that God is working? When something dies, when somebody dies, when an identity dies, and then afterwards we thrive, you guys, that's a miracle. We get to be okay with that. So many people, so many women have said to me, I'm feeling guilty because I'm going to move on. I've met somebody new, or I've got a new job, or, sorry, now I need Kleenex. right? So many people feel guilty because they're ready to move on. They're ready to thrive. Let me tell you something. That's God. God is saying to you, okay, get up. You've got work to do, sissy. Don't waste this mess. Make it your miracle. So last night on the God's Girl guest call, there were a lot of women in the room who were grieving. And I was looking at them as a group. I was just leaning back, and each of them had an opportunity to open up the mic and introduce themselves and share their stories. I think there were like 12 or 13 of us. Most of the women are new. It was amazing. And as I was leaning back, those of you who were on the call, you know what I mean. And I was like, these women are all supposed to be in this room together. I was connecting the dots. And I was like, okay, 4 women in the room have autistic children. 4 women in the room lost their husbands. 3 women in the room are transitioning through some big life thing. Everybody's going through it. What? Like the room? And I could feel the weight of the grief in that space. But you know what else I felt? And those of you who are in the room, you know, you've got to get into these calls. Uncommon Women Global Ministry is so powerful. But what else was so amazing was that each of these women are grieving and they're ready for more. They're turning their mess into their miracle. They're turning their grief into God's goodness. And that is why I am here. I now understand. And of course, I was in there. I was in there too, because my mom died in August of 2024. It hasn't even been 2 years. These women are talking about grief, and I was like, I get it. I get it. But girl, we're getting up, because our grief is going to be God's work in our lives, because it was mine. And all I know right now, like so many things that I used to believe have fallen away. And all I know right now is that God uses us when we're in the darkest place in our lives. That's how he gets us out. Do you see that? He doesn't get us out after. He gets us out when we are in the darkness through his light. So if you're waiting for your grief to end before you go into ministry, before you change your life, before you start dating somebody else, let me tell you something. It's now. It's now. It's now. It's now. It's now. I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. Say it. I am here now. I just want to scream this from the mountaintops, because as I sat on this couch right here last night and sobbed, I was grateful. I was grateful because God is working in my grief. I did not die. You did not die. You will not die. Stop saying that you died when this person died, because you're not giving God any credit for keeping the breath in your lungs, and you have got a job to do. Get out there and do it. You can grieve and get going. Get off of your butt and get out there and tell other people that they're not going to die either. Because people are around you and they're saying, if my kid died, I would die. And I want you to say to them, no, you won't, because I didn't. And if they say, if my husband dies, I'll die. I want you to get out there and say, no, you won't, sister, because I didn't. Okay? That's how we do it. I can't even handle it. I can't even handle how strongly this is hitting me this morning. Because what I'm recognizing is that everybody in the world is suffering right now. And if you recognize that you on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, you're in my world right now, because you need to hear this right now, that your job, your job, is to get out there and say, I heard a message today and I realized that suffering won't kill us unless we allow it to. So when you sit with your friend for coffee today or this weekend, and they're talking about how they're suffering and they don't know how to get out, your job is to bring them the message and say, listen, I leaned on Jesus, and because I leaned on Jesus, I am here. I am here now. You guys, I would not be where I am if I didn't lean into my faith with my mom when my mom died. It's a God thing. It's not a Romy thing. It's a God thing. This is where you deliver your message. So last night I was teaching these women how to do their testimonials, and you guys just wait till these women pop out. I cannot wait to see these women online hitting live and saying, I learned something the other day. You know what I learned? How to share my story without falling apart at the seams, because I'm standing on the shoulders of it. I'm not allowing it to take me down anymore. I am in control. I am here now. It sure is a God thing. Okay, that was my intro. I'm all worked up. Anyway, that call last night was so good. And when I got off, I was like, this is what I'm here to do. See, this is it. This is the path. Just activating your voice, because when you start talking about it, it liberates you, right? The liberation comes in the letting go. Don't worry, you still get to grieve the person. You still get to be sad that they're gone. Don't worry. Sometimes it feels good to sit on the couch and have a big cry, right? Anybody else? Anybody else? Put a heart in the comments if you have lost something or someone really important to you. Like, just put a heart in the comments. Just put a heart in the comments, because I want you to see that you're not alone, right? There are other women here who are grieving right beside you. Or it could be that your dream is dead. Okay, here we go. See all the hearts? I want you to know something. Your dream died because something better is coming. That person died because it was their time. We don't know, but you know what? You're not dead, right? That situation, that identity, that friendship, it's gone because its time is over, but you are just getting started. You are not alone, right? So I think about, okay, I'm getting to my notes. Okay, does everybody have their, oh, I didn't light my candle. Uh-oh, I need my candle. One sec, I'm going to get my lighter. I actually cannot do this without my candle. Okay, need it, going, get it. You guys, look at this. This is like, what the heck is this? This is a lighter, but it's so intense. It's like a flamethrower. Anyway, it's a little bit intense, but I feel intense today. And this is, you guys, how cute is this? This is from PK's, I got this at the conference last year in the summer. Who's going to her conference? I hope that every single person here is going to her conference. Let's meet in person. Okay, let's meet in person. Okay, everybody light your candle. I have to have my candle and my coffee. Isn't it cute? My hair's probably a mess in the back. Sorry, it is what it is. Okay, do you have your coffee or your tea, your hot beverage? All right. So we're looking at the woman. It's Luke 7, verse 11 to 17. Okay, I love this story. It's 6 lines long. And it's a game changer. It's a testimony. So last night, okay, this is really cool. Last night, I was teaching the women how to do their testimony in 3 minutes or less, and it's 3 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3. You got to get in the room to be part of it. It's the only thing I'm going to say. Okay? These women came into the room, and I taught them this format. So if you want to learn the format, you got to get in. You could, there goes Romy. That's so funny. I love you, Leah. You guys are hilarious. Okay. If you want to learn this format, get into the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry, or maybe come into the God's Girl guest call next. Or if you're on the God's Girl email list, I'm sending it out today, actually. I'm sending my replay out. Get on the God's Girl. Okay, here's something. Moderators, how do we do this? Put God's Girl in the comments if you're not already on that email list, because God's Girl is just the email list that goes out that invites everybody to the calls at the end of every month. And I'm sending the replay for this call out today. So that's how you can get access to it. But you got to get on the email list. So put God's Girl. And then if my moderators can just let me know the names of the people, and I will reach out and we'll get you on the email list. I'm trying to figure, I'm going to have to put a form. I'm going to have to create a form for that. In fact, I think I have them, but I just don't know where the link is. I'll have to look it up. Okay, anyway, here's what I was going to say. It's only 6 lines long. And it's a full testimony. So what I'm saying, and this is what I'm teaching the women in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry, is your testimony doesn't need to be 30 minutes long. It can be 6 sentences long. This is 6 lines long, and it's a full testimony. Here we go. You ready for it? You got your Bibles. I love you guys. Good morning. Oh, are you renewing your vows, Sarah? I love that. I'm hoping that I'll have a King with the Ring or like a date for that. I would love to have, I told PK, I said, I want to have a date for the conference. Anybody know any cute God's men? I need a cute God's man. Okay, here we go. Jesus raises a widow's son. She's a widow and her son dies. Like the 2 most important men in her life are gone until Jesus comes into her life. Now he's the most important man. Huh? How cool is that? Here's the story. Soon afterward, Jesus went with his disciples to the village of Nain, and a large crowd followed him. A funeral procession was coming out as he approached the village gate. The young man who had died was a widow's only son, and a large crowd from the village was with her. When the Lord saw her, his heart overflowed with compassion. I love that. I could just see it. He says, "Don't cry," he said. Then he walked over and stopped. Then he walked over to the coffin and touched it, and the bearers stopped. "Young man," he said, you guys, I need my readers. That's why I'm like, I need my readers. Come on. I tell you, get up. Then the dead boy sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. What? Great fear swept the crowd, and they praised God, saying, "A mighty prophet has risen among us, and God has visited his people today." And the news about Jesus spread throughout Judea and the surrounding countryside. That's Luke, and I know we're studying Luke in PK's world right now, so we're like doubling down on Luke. So a few things I want to share with you. First of all, the Lord saw her and he said, "Don't cry." And that wasn't because he doesn't want her to grieve. It's because he knows that it's going to be okay. That he's going to take care of things. That she's not dead. It's not over. She's about to see something that is going to blow her mind. So he says, don't cry. I've got you. How gorgeous is that? And the thing is, Jesus sees us. She didn't even say anything. She hadn't even said anything. And he just looked at her. Jesus has us before we speak. And he said, "Don't cry." He knows what's going on in our hearts before we even have to say anything. So if you think that you have to pray in order for God to know what's going on in your life, you don't. I'm not saying don't pray, but what I'm saying is he knows. So go pray and ask him for support. He knows what's going on in your life. He knows the death. He knows the loss. He knows the suffering. Before you say a word, he already knows. Even when your voice is silent, you are not invisible. I just have to plug in my This is one of those days, you guys, where everything's just like cray-cray. Okay, one of my devices was dying. So even if you don't have words, like I know that some of you in your grief, in your pain, you feel like you don't have the words. I'm just telling you, even if you don't have the words, he knows what you're going through. So don't worry about that. So number one, Jesus sees you before you speak. He knows what's happening in your life before you say a word. He's got you. You guys share this out to your community, or tag, even better, tag somebody in the comments if they're grieving. If you know that there's somebody who's grieving the death of something, tag them. Share this with them. Send it to them in their messages. Just let them see this because it is so powerful. This is such a beautiful story. Jesus is moved by compassion, not by performance. He was feeling compassionate for this woman. He didn't say, okay, everybody, I'm just about to perform a miracle here. I want everybody to stop. He just quietly went up to her and said, don't cry. His heart went out to her. He actually felt pain for her. He knew what she was feeling. He knew what she was feeling. My dad always calls me when I'm on these calls. It's so funny. Right? And the reality is that she didn't have to say anything. And he had a plan already. He knew that she was in so much pain. He already had a plan. His heart went out to her. She didn't have to prove anything. She didn't have to have enough faith. She was simply grieving. You don't have to perform to be seen by Jesus. It's okay when you're grieving, when you're in the dark place, to be on your knees, a complete hot mess. He will see you in your pain. You don't have to pull it together. I'll hear people say, I got to pull it together and get to church. I've got to pull it together because they can barely. He's already with you. He knows. Yes, get up and take your grief and turn it into God's message. But on the other side of things, I want you to remember that you don't have to pull it together to be seen and loved. We know that God loves us in our mess. We know that Jesus went and served the people who were messy and falling apart. His whole ministry was about helping the people who nobody else would help. This breaks the lie that you have to be strong, that you have to be faithful, and that you have to be composed for God to move in your life. No. You get your strength from God. You are not strong enough. I am not strong enough. You are not strong enough to get yourself out of where you are. You guys, when I was on my knees, when my mom was dying, when I left the toxic relationship, that was God. That wasn't me. God got me up. But I involved him in the conversation. When I was on my knees, the night that I was having suicide ideations, I called to God. That was not me. When my mom was dying, I said, God, you gotta help me through this. I was not strong. Are you kidding? I didn't have it all together. But I involved him in my process. And this is all he wants. Can we not just involve him in the process? We have no problem involving our friends and our partners. And we involve people who are in the dark and stuck. We involve people who are sitting on the floor. We involve people who are a holy hot mess. Why wouldn't we involve God? What are you afraid of? That you might get an answer, that you might actually be called to get up, that's what you're afraid of. I promise you. More people are afraid of actually getting an answer than not. Because sometimes the answer sounds like, get up. I'm not going to let you sit there anymore. If you want me, you're going to get me, but you're going to get me on my terms. That's how God works. So see, when I was on the floor and I was drunk and I was having suicide ideations and I didn't know how I was going to get through, I said to him, you got to show me a path. You know what he said? You sure? Are you ready? Because the path looks like you getting up and helping other women who have stories like yours. I was like, what? I have no gas in my tank. He's like, you asked, I gave you the answer. What's really amazing is that he gave me the energy I needed. It wasn't a me thing, it was a God thing. We don't have the power to get ourselves up out of those places. We don't. And neither do our friends. Neither does our counselor or our pastor. It's God. The right people will direct you to him. Number 3, Jesus meets you in the middle of the procession. Okay, this is so good. The miracle didn't happen before the child died. The miracle didn't happen after the child was buried. The miracle happened in the middle of the journey. You know what I'm saying? We think that he's going to show up before things go bad. We think that he's going to show up only after it's all over. No. Allow him to assist you in the middle of your journey. It happened in the middle of the funeral. He just interrupted. He's the great disruptor. He interrupted and he was like, I'm just going to step quietly in and I'm going to give this woman her child back. He didn't make her wait till the end. See? She was open. And he just said, here you go. If we allow him to come in the middle of the divorce, if we allow him to come in the middle of our grief, if we allow him to come in the middle of the illness of the one that we love, if we allow him to step in when things are falling apart, he will help us now. He will help us now. Jesus doesn't wait for the ending. He steps into the middle. You're not too late. Your situation is not too far gone for him. And God moves in middle moments. Write that down. God moves in middle moments. I've heard so many people throw their hands up and say, it's too late. If God, here's a big one that I hear often. If God was with me, he wouldn't have let this happen. He wouldn't have let it get this far. You don't know what God's plan is. Don't act like you understand how he works. Because when we think he's got it, you guys, put a heart in the comments if you agree. When we think that we've got God figured out, he goes, and he pivots. We do not understand his power. When we say, oh, he's going to intercede right here, and then he doesn't, we're like, you were supposed to intercede right there. He's like, well, yeah, but here's the problem, is that you think you know me. I just want you to have faith. Just have faith that I'll intercede. I'll do it when you need it, not when you want it. There's a difference. See, if God had, and you guys, if God had interceded when I wanted him to, when my mom was dying, my mom would still be alive. But she would still be alive with cancer. I want you to hear that. Is that really what I wanted? Certainly wasn't what she wanted. But you know what happened? Instead, it was her time. She was ready. She could not wait to be with her father. But you know what happened instead? She died, and it moved me closer to him. He did it his way, not my way. He's doing it his way, not your way. He's doing it how you need it, not how you want it. Because what we want is of the flesh. What we want is for everything to be copacetic. What we want is to be comfortable. What we want is to have everybody around us forever. What we want is for everything to be perfect. But that's not how we grow. That's not how we rise. And that's not how we get closer to him. I was having a conversation with PK the other day, and we were talking about miracles. And I said, here's what I've learned about miracles. Miracles happen when we're down. Why? Because we wouldn't need God otherwise. He's smart. He knows that if our lives were perfect and we got everything that we wanted all the time, we wouldn't need him. And so, do you see? He wants us to see his power. He's not humble. We are. He wants us to see his power, and he wants us to depend on him. He wants us to, number one, have faith in him. And if we got everything that we wanted all the time, we wouldn't need to have faith. There would be no relationship with God in my life if I hadn't been on my knees and said, I need you. Nothing else is working. Nobody else has got the words. I'm falling apart at the seams. I need your power. Then he came in and said, okay, I'm here. Okay? So yeah, when you're suffering, this is the time to go to him. Watch for the miracle. The miracle will come in your mess. He loves to perform. You guys, all you have to do is read the Bible. Jesus walked around and performed miracles in the mess. He didn't take the healthy person and make them healthier. He didn't take the child who was alive and running and make them run faster. You guys, he performs miracles in the middle of the mess. He took people who were dead and brought them back to life. That's how he works. He breathes life into the hopeless situation. That's what he does. And it's important that we understand that. It doesn't mean that he doesn't move in our lives at other times, but the miracle is in the mess. Right? Number 4, Jesus touches what others won't. This is what I love, is that Jesus went. So this was at a time when it would have been really taboo to go up to a coffin and touch it. It was just not culturally appropriate at the time. But Jesus, because we know he's a great disruptor, he didn't care what people thought. You guys, the law didn't matter to him. He had one law to follow, and that was the law of God. That was his king, right? That was his master. So he did what he wanted. He didn't follow cultural norms. If he did, he wouldn't speak to the woman at the well. If he did, he wouldn't speak to prostitutes. If he did, he wouldn't, sit down with lepers and people who were poor on the street and listen to them. He didn't do that. He also wouldn't have proclaimed that his God was not the king, but our God. But instead, he goes up to what is clean. He goes up to what is unclean. He goes up to what is broken. He goes up to what is painful, and he puts his hands on it, figuratively and literally. That's how Jesus moved. He will touch what everyone else avoids. So if you feel like you're not worthy, if you feel like your grief is too deep, if you feel like you're too broken, if you feel like you're too far gone, if you feel like you are not a good enough person for his love, everybody else is more faithful than you, let me tell you something. You are exactly who he focuses in on. You're his chosen one. He chooses the people who are least likely to be chosen by others. You know how we all have people that we're like, they're just too much. Like, I just can't sit with that person. All they do is talk about their pain. Do we each have those people? We're like, oh, all this person does is talk about their dark stuff. Guess what? Those are Jesus's people. He loved healing those people. He loved showing them that there was more. That's why we need to be more like him, so that we can have that kind of patience, so that we can have that kind of compassion, so that we can have that kind of power to not just think about how uncomfortable we are, but if we're uncomfortable, think about how uncomfortable they are in their pain. If that's all they're talking about, they must be in so much suffering. Have you ever thought about it like that? Their suffering is so bad that it's taken over their whole body. It's taken over their whole thought process. It's the only thing that they can talk about. It's the only thing that they can think about. They are paralyzed at a soul level. Those are Jesus's people. Right? We have to be more compassionate. The places that we as women often hide are grief, shame, loss of identity, loss of our financial stability, loss of relationships, loss of children, loss of a career, loss of our bodies as we become older women. We grieve the body that we had. We grieve, the hair, because a lot of women that I know, their hair starts falling out. That hasn't been one of my problems. I got a lot of hair, but I have had other things, right? We grieve the loss of who we were. This is what women grieve. And what we do is we tend to get really quiet and go inward. Our bodies change, our skin's got more wrinkles. So what do? We go live less. We hide. We put filters on. I don't have any filters on here, by the way. Even though I feel like TikTok might have one, but I don't put it there. I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting. But we have a hard time. You know how you know if you're grieving something? You try to make it look different. You thought about that? Right? I'm grieving the loss of my youthful skin. So I'm going to make it look different when I go live, or I'm not going to stand on stages and speak, or I'm not going to go to events. I'm just going to let people see me from behind a camera. I'm going to put a bunch of filters over it. That means you're grieving. You're grieving something. Renee, hi, sweet sis. I love you. There's another woman who just got up and said, God, move through me. She knows. When we grieve, we try to make it different. We try to bring it back. We try to go back to where we were. That's how we know that we're grieving. Don't. Let God perform the miracle in your mess. You can't pretend for God. You guys, he's way too smart for that. You can't pretend. And the thing is, if you try to pretend, he's going to look at you and say, why are you blocking my miracle? Right? Stop blocking what he's got planned for you, baby. Telling you. Okay, last one. You ready for it? You know how, put yes in the comments if you just understand this. You know how when there's a loss of a marriage or the loss of a love or the loss of a person or the loss of an identity, you think it's all over. Like it's gone, it's never coming back. I'm never gonna have love again. I've heard this so many times from women. And then 3 years later, they're like, I found somebody, right? They're like, you know how you feel like it's never gonna come back? I'm never gonna feel beautiful again because my body's older. I'm never gonna fall in love again because my husband has died or my divorce is final. I'm never going to love my life again because my children are gone, like they've gone off to university. I'm never gonna feel whole again because they don't need me like they used to. You know that feeling? Let me tell you something. Yes, see, women are saying yes. We're talking about stuff that we all experience. You're not alone, but I want you to hear this. Jesus doesn't just restore what was lost. He gives you more. I promise you, he doesn't just restore. He gives you more. I'm going to use an example from this story. So this woman's husband dies, and then her son dies. Like, we all know people, it's just like, really? God, seriously? We're like, you took her husband, and then you took her son. We get angry. And God's like, you're not getting it. See, what you don't understand is that there's more. And maybe from that, he knows that you're going to fall in love with him, and you're going to find a kind of joy that you never had before, even in the marriage, even with the child. Maybe he's going to see that you start changing the lives of other women who have been through what you've been through, and you're going to turn into like this, your second wind. Like, so that was the first chapter of your life. This is the second chapter. The second chapter of your life is the one where you start impacting and changing the lives of other people. And one day you wake up and you go, my life is so different. I don't even recognize myself, and I miss what I had. But I get goosebumps thinking about this, because this is me. I can't believe how God's moving in my life. Like, it's a different kind of joy. I'm not going to compare it to the joy that I had when I was with my mom. You don't compare. It's just new. It's just different. He will restore and more. He will restore and more. If you need something to say to yourself today, walk around and say, he's going to restore and more. He's going to restore and more. I know, God, I know that you're working in my life. You are going to restore and more. You are going to take this mess and you're going to turn it into a miracle, and it's going to be restored and more. Restored and more. Call it, and he'll answer, I promise. But if you don't allow him to do it, if you block him, he can't. So don't get so angry at God that you block him out. Because you know what? You're blocking out the miracle. And then when you see other people who are grieving, but they're over here living, you're going to say, how did that happen? And you know what? They're going to say, God did it. They let him in. He is not going to come knocking down your door and bulldoze you to get your attention. He will say, if you let me in, I will do the work. But if you don't, I'll be over here waiting for you to acknowledge me, because I am your Father, and I am the Lord, and I am the King of Kings, and I can move mountains in your life. But I'm not going to do it if you don't allow. He is not going to beg. He's got 8 billion people to work on. So you want it? Restore and more. Okay, I'm here for it. Show up every morning. Get in your Bible. Get on the lives. Get to a church community. Take your shoes off and start walking around your house like a crazy woman saying, restore and more, restore and more. Because I'm going to tell you something. In a month, I want you to DM me and tell me what happened when you opened your heart. And I promise you, it will change your life. Jesus gave that boy back to his mother. Restored and more. And you know why it was more? Because that woman was a believer after that. If she wasn't a believer then, she sure was a believer now. And guess what she would have done? She would have told every single person that she saw about that miracle. You don't think that that woman, listen to me, you don't think that that woman was happier than she'd ever been? Right? She was happier than she had ever been. There was before he died, and there was after the miracle. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You think that your life was better before? Wait for the miracle, okay? The miracle hasn't happened yet because you've been too angry at God. Let him in. See, she was open. She was like, just do it. Just move in my life. And he did it. Right? Telling you, I'm so worked up about this. Okay, these are the 3 core revelations. You can be seen by God without saying a word. Number 2, your grief does not disqualify you. It draws him closer, capital H. What feels final to you is not, okay, write this down. What feels final to you is not final to him. You are just getting started, baby. Restore and more, restore and more, restore and more, restore and more. We're doing it. Who's going to restore and more? Who's ready to claim it? You guys, listen, get into the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry if you want to change your life. Last night was a game changer. Those women changed on that call. We meet every Thursday. It's a beautiful space. And I'm supporting women as they speak their truth and build their testimony so they can turn around. Doesn't matter how dark you are. This is the thing. You get into that room, I'll show you how to grieve and do God's work. You get to do it at the same time. Go to romymarlowe.com. It is such a powerful space. And I'm also running a masterclass. And you know what? Let me tell you something about grief and about pain. The best thing for you to do in this time, no matter how tapped out you feel, is to get in a room and go make yourself purposeful. That's what I did. When my mom was dying, I started my ministry. Imagine, I started leading Bible studies at my church while my mom was dying of cancer. And what was really beautiful, she actually came to a few of them, which was so amazing. And I remember she would say, "You're a natural." And I'd say, "I don't even know what I'm doing. I have to say Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts and letters and Romans." Versus when I was trying to find the books of the Bible while I was leading Bible study. And she said, "No, you don't get it. It gets to be messy. He doesn't care that you don't know the books of the Bible. He doesn't care. He just wants you to have faith. So when you're tired, he will renew your soul, but you got to understand that he will restore and more." I've never been so happy. I've never been so joyful. And I miss my mom every day. I get to live in duality. You get to live in duality. So we start with the masterclass Monday, April 6th. And because it's Easter Monday, I'm actually going to send everybody pre-work. I forgot that it was Easter Monday. And I'm with my family that day. I have boundaries. The following Monday will be our first call. And actually it's perfect because it ends up being 7 weeks, not 6. And the work is going to blow your mind so that when you come onto the call, you will have already done some of the work. Go to romymarlowe.com. The masterclass pops up. You guys, it's going to change your life. I'm teaching you how to build a legacy business, but what I'm really doing is teaching you how to restore and more. Okay? I love you. I honor you. Stay uncommon. Share this out. If you're grieving, you've got this. God's got you. Open up your heart. Stop being angry long enough to see that the miracle is in the mess. Happy Friday. I love you so much. Have an incredible day. Bye. Bye. Bye, TikTok. Thank you.